We've been down that road before. street outside. When you walk into the room, you pull me close and we start to move. And we spinning with the stars above, and you lift me up in a wave of love. Baby, do you know what that's worth? Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. They say in heaven, love comes first. We make heaven a place on earth. Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. Ooh, heaven is a place on earth.
Monday morning, it's cold outside. I'm sitting here all alone. Pack my bags and leave this town. Cause if I stay, I'll stay down. It's a long, long way to reach for you. You appear in my dreams, and I pray that you exist. You're a creature I can't resist. I'm counting down the days until we meet again. Longing for you every day. I'm counting down the days I catch the star for you. Wanna hold your hand. Counting down the days until we meet again. Longing for you every day. I'm counting down the days I catch the star for you. Wanna hold your hand. Let me be your man. carried away by a moonlight shadow. He passed unworried and warning, carried away by a moonlight shadow. Lost in a river last Saturday night, far away on the other side. He was caught in the middle of a desperate fight, and she couldn't find how to push through. Then alas, whenever she saw him, carried away by a moonlight shadow. Passed unworried and warning, carried away by a moonlight shadow. Lost in a river last Saturday night,
We are the Bang Riders. We are the Bang.
Boah, ausgelacht, na ne? I've been looking for freedom. Digga, Turbo Boost für Arne, Alter. Da wird doch bald eine Wohnung frei, oder? So, Kid, nur gib mal Turbo Bang hier, Alter. Das geht an alle Turbo-Schweine da draußen. 1, 2, 1, 2. We are the Bang Riders. Schweine! We are the Bang Riders!
parts of the world communicate with the gift of prophecy.